Okay, so this is one of the billboards.
Well, part of the StIRRRD program is a comparative study visit to New Zealand, and that's where we bring a group of Indonesian delegates out to New Zealand, and those delegates come from local government, central government, universities, and so we have a really good mixture of people. So the central government agencies represented include BNPB, that's the equivalent of the Ministry of Civil Defence and Emergency Management, KDP-DDT, and now the Ministry for Villages, Disadvantaged Districts and Transmigration, and we also have Bapanas, which is the National Agency for Planning and Development. So we're learning together and we're just exploring a whole different range of ways of doing things in disaster risk reduction. What works in New Zealand, will it work in Indonesia, what's currently best practice in Indonesia, and is that something we can learn from in New Zealand and apply in the New Zealand context. So lots of mutual learning opportunities.
This comparative study very important for us because there are many ways, not only technical things but also from social approach. So I think we can apply it to some extent in my country, in my area.
We visit the blue line. This is the marking for the safe zone and dangerous zone for the tsunami area. So I think this is a good experience for us because in Indonesia we don't apply yet this marking.
We visited Parliament yesterday and we discussed about how to budget disaster mitigation. I will adopt knowledge from here in New Zealand about budgeting. I will to support budgeting because I think this is very important how to reduce risk disaster.
And now we are in Wellington hospitals, and the hospital is very strong because it's used the base isolation system. We can see that the buildings is installed the base isolations, that is the natural rubber bearing and sliding type. It can resist the earthquake and make the hospital will be operated during the earthquake.
The building here in New Zealand, the inspection, the monitoring is not only conducted during the construction process but also after the construction stage is finished. So the building cannot be used unless they have the certificate from the council. I never heard this condition in Indonesia. And furthermore, I need to learn how New Zealand conduct the monitoring to the constructed building and process. All of the skill I gain here, I will transfer to all my colleagues in order to establish a center of study in my university.
I have learned about what New Zealanders are doing in risk disaster, especially in how people cooperation and collaboration in doing civil defense management. I learned how people can survive from the disaster.
During the comparative study, I got many knowledge and experience from the New Zealanders. That's important for us because in my country, especially in my region, in Padang, we got many disaster, earthquakes, tsunami, landslide, and volcanoes. And that is very valuable for us to get the knowledge and sharing experience between the Indonesian and New Zealand. When I back to Indonesia, I think I can apply everything that I got from this study. I will try to implement in my country, especially in my city, in Padang city.